Hi, and welcome back to the Richmond Good Old Days Grand Parade. I'm Preston Trent, and with me again is the woman who put Miss Richmond, or is the definition of Miss Richmond, Miss Caitlin Gordon.
Thank you, Preston. I'm so excited to be back. I don't know if you're in the same boat as me, but I have been waiting a very long time for us to be back in action.
Yes, we were talking here before. It seems like it's been a while, but we are glad to be back. We're glad you came along. And we are going to get this parade rolling on a beautiful, kind of cloudy, 75-degree day in Richmond. Leading this year's parade actually was a 9/11 tribute by local bagpiper Christine Goot and the Yelenich family. And now we're seeing members of the Richmond VFW. And a huge outpouring of support by these parade patrons. Everybody on their feet, standing, clapping, and waving.
I think it's definitely been a trend this whole Good Old Days weekend being the 20th anniversary of 9/11. You can really feel the patriotism, the support for our local law enforcement and first responders, as well as the troops that, unfortunately weren't here to celebrate with us, but definitely sending our love to them. Absolutely.
And now we see one of those law enforcement officers, Chief Dave Teskey, coming down. One of Richmond's finest. These guys have been busy all weekend. Them, the Macomb County sheriffs, some of the Michigan State Police, patrolling the fair, keeping everything safe, doing a bunch of road closures and making sure all the events kick off well. So we're extremely thankful for the work they do, not only during the festival, but year round.
And then following up behind them, we have our mounted division of the Macomb County Sheriff's Department. One of my favorite, always beautiful horses. Never can get over how well trained they are.
Yes. Extremely well trained. And this year's Grand Marshal now coming down in an antique fire truck, Harold and Therese Teska. And when I heard they were chosen to be this year's Grand Marshals, I was extremely excited. Two people you see around town all the time. Harold's a member of the fire department, longtime member of the fire department. And personally, I've known the Teskas for a while. During the shutdown, Harold was over quite a bit at my house, helping me build my garage. So I know they've been busy at all the different events, waving and shaking hands and smiling.
Always good to see another wonderful member of our community recognized.
And following our Grand Marshals,
but it's a little hard to hear as I
good timing there. The members of the Richmond Volunteer Fire Department and Chief Curtis Spence. And again, another group that I remember as a kid going to the fire hall with my dad and seeing the board and all the different places and jobs and things these guys have to be at all weekend. So if you get a chance to see some of these guys, make sure you thank them. They work their tails off all weekend long. Oh, that was my dad.
So there goes, that he's stuck in the parade.
Oh, there goes Trenny in Engine 1.
I always love seeing some of these older fire trucks and how the evolution has come with all of them. We used to have these pickup trucks that would save all the fires, and now we have these huge engines.
And you just saw, those of you at home just saw the grass truck go by. That's one they still use for
field fires.
Yeah, field fires and stuff like that. Things they need to get a smaller truck to.
That one did scare me a little bit.
Doing that scaring was the Richmond Lennox EMS in one of their ambulances. Followed by members of the New Haven Fire and Rescue. A lot of these different fire departments were on Stone Street next to the tennis courts this week doing the water ball, and I heard you guys got in on the action too.
You want to know what? 10 years almost going strong that I get to do water ball. I will say though, I think I've only won probably the year that I was Miss Richmond. So have not won recently. unfortunately, but you know what? I'm going to keep going until they don't invite me back or until I win. We'll see what comes first.
Well, I might have to get you into a couple of these fire departments and have them train you guys.
Yeah, we had some national champions of water ball giving our safety demonstration. And I think honestly, maybe one year I'm just going to kind of hold back and be like, all right, give me the tips. Like, how do I beat the reigning queens one year? Because I'm tired of losing.
Yeah.
But speaking of some traditions, Preston, this is our 5th year
It is.
doing the parade together.
5 years of doing the parade together.
I didn't bring you a gift, unfortunately.
Well, I didn't either, so I guess I'm off the hook.
I feel like that makes us the perfect duo.
This kid is living his best life right now. Members of the Fort Gratiot Fire Department with their ladder truck coming all the way down from Huron. St. Clair Area Fire Department.
You know, every year I think we get more and more first responders that, you know, get invited or want to be part of our parade. And I think this might be the longest stint of first responders that we have, which I love to see starting off our parade.
Yeah. I know we flipped the page after the Richmond ones, and it was the group you're going to see next, Joe Ballard Towing, but I did know we had all these fire departments with us. It's awesome to see that. And they get a huge outpouring of support from all these patrons here. We see some of the antique tow trucks from Joe Ballard's Towing.
You know, and I will say, I think this is the first year since we've done the parade that nobody's had to get towed off of Main Street because they were blocking traffic for the parade.
I didn't see too many. I know there were members of the police department going up and down, and I think everybody got the hint. So
they knew
well
what
done.
happened previous years, and they didn't want to be the car that we were talking about.
They can read the big red signs. As we see another one of the Joe Ballard tow trucks. For those of you that don't know where they are out in New Haven. And if you're coming down Gratiot, usually during Christmas, you'll see the truck up there with the reindeer all lit up.
Lit up, yep.
We got to one of our first sponsors here, the Richmond Lions Club. Those banners being carried, like every year, by members of the Richmond football program. As we see the Lions Club members and their mascot. Always a favorite of all the little kids. Great organization. They do a bunch of stuff throughout the year in and out of the community. And here comes our Richmond High School Marching Band under the direction of Miss Molly Shack.
You know, I will say I have not been able to make it to any Friday Night Light Richmond football games yet, or in a while. And the halftime performance by the marching band is always one of my highlights whenever I do get to come back into town and make it to a football game.
Oh yeah. Yep, they played Algonac this past Friday at home and got a 38-0 victory. And the band's always a big part of that, getting the crowd fired up before, during, and after the game.
And following up behind our marching band is our very first Little Miss Richmond, Barb Shuttleworth, and the 25th Little Miss Richmond, Rose Berg. For those of you who do not know, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Little Miss Richmond this year. So we are so happy to have our previous Little Misses able to come back and celebrate with us.
And for those of you that aren't around town as much, you can go to the Simmons Insurance Agency building and you'll see all the pictures of the old Miss Richmonds in order. It's one of the cool things I enjoy seeing as I walk up to the parade every year on this beautiful Sunday.
Of course. And then behind our past Little Miss Richmonds, we have our current Little Miss Richmond in court for 2021, looking adorable as always. Our Little Miss Richmond this year, and Preston, you might have to help me with some of these last names since you probably have some of their siblings in school, but we have Charlotte Kowalski, if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry I didn't get to find you before the parade to make sure that they were right.
And following them, we have our, I guess we'd say, current Miss Richmond.
Our still reigning, the longest reigning Miss Richmond in court. Our 2019 Miss Richmond, Lexi Rajewski, and her court member, Grace Thompson. Lexi and Grace are both sophomores in college, if you can believe it. Lexi is at Oakland University, and Grace is at Grand Valley.
And following the court, you saw members of the Detroit Charter 82nd Airborne Division, and a couple more of our sponsors, Proline Asphalt, North Star Bank, and Ace Hardware. And while we got some time here too, we'd like to mention a special sponsor of the parade, HealthQuest Physical Therapy. If you haven't gotten a chance to go check out their office, go in for a consultation, I'd highly, highly recommend it. Just a great office. I've got to meet some of the people that work there. One of their therapists comes to all the sporting events and serves as our athletic trainer. So
that's awesome.
Make sure you give HealthQuest a check out. Now coming through is the 1st Michigan Colonial Fife and Drum Corps in their traditional garb and instruments.
And we were discussing before the parade, it is a little humid today. It's still a beautiful day for the parade. And we had the luxury of being able to take off our suit jackets for a little bit. We were discussing, I don't think that it is quite as easy for them to get out of theirs.
No, actually, every year I walk from my house up to where we broadcast from, just to kind of get a feel for the people that are out and get to talk to people and see all the chairs that are set up in advance. And one of the members of the drum corps walked past my house right before I left in his full
He's ready to go.
white coat, white pants, and I was like, ooh, I'm sweating in this jacket.
That's a dedicated member right
yes.
there.
But speaking of the crowd, we're starting to see quite a big collection of people. They're 2, 3, especially right where we're at next to Rick's shop. They're 2, 3 rows deep along Main Street. I mean, I think as early as Thursday there were chairs set out.
Yes, I drove through town coming in for the festivities and everything, and I saw chairs out and everything. I think when they finally made the announcement that we were going to be able to have our parade in good old days and everything, everybody was just so excited.
Yeah.
And they got everything ready right away.
Just excited to get back to the stuff we've really enjoyed. I know last year I was really bummed out because I always look forward to the fair as like kind of the end of summer, the beginning of fall, and we just didn't have anything. So it's awesome to have all of these things back. I've tried to get to as many different things as I could. So
just really get to experience it. You almost appreciate it more having
yes.
the year off, being able to do all of the things, like getting dunked in the dunk tank a bunch of
yes.
times and being hit with a water hose. You're like, you want to know what? I will never take this for granted ever again.
And we'll talk more about the parade or the fair and getting things organized later in the parade. We see Mr. Jeff Yarrick and his antique fire truck coming by. Jeff serves as our state representative, former city council member. And I believe that's current city council member Jamie Green up top waving to the crowd. There's Mr. Yarrick there on the far side with his wife and daughter passing out candy. There he is, giving a wave to the crowd. And he is followed by members of our Richmond Community Schools. So we see some teachers out there, some administrators, members of our school board. You'll see Kyle Simmons and Miss Margaret Telto coming into view. There they are.
Maybe one year for the parade we can have you do a live shot walking up to the studio for this.
Oh, yes.
Walking with the teachers, and then you can just come back in and sit with me and we'll finish out the parade.
And for our members in the community too, if you haven't, I know it's kind of tough right now because of the visitor rules with all the COVID stuff and whatnot, but if you haven't gotten a chance to see all the great things the school did with the past bond, I'd encourage you to get in touch with the school, schedule a visit, just look through and see all the amazing things they did to give our kids a high quality education. And speaking of high quality, the highest quality softball team in the state's coming down now, the state champion Richmond Blue Devils softball team. We see members of the team and the coaching staff up top, inside the Blue Flame propane truck. There's Coach John Foster, Coach Nick Clark, Coach Lisa Van Scooter, Coach Caperton, and Coach Howard Stewart there on the back.
It's always amazing how Richmond just seems to breed champions in every program that we have. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I personally got to watch the girls play a handful of their games, and they were some exciting. That state championship game was a little nerve-wracking. I was sitting there, I was just as nervous for that as I get for wrestling meets. And now we see members of North Star Bank coming down, waving to the crowd. And their mascot, the big star. I don't know if they've got a name or not, but.
We should ask one year, go to the mascots and really find it. We should get to know them better.
We should get to know the mascots.
And everything.
And the next truck coming down, we see another state championship team, this time the competitive cheer state champions. Their third title in a row for Coach Kelly Mathis and the team.
Being a wrestling coach, you can appreciate a really good three-peat.
I can appreciate a three-peat, yes. We see some of the girls up there waving to the crowd. And again, another very exciting final. I wasn't able to attend that one, but I was getting updates the whole time, and real nail biter again.
Yes. But that makes it a little exciting to watch.
Exactly. So congratulations to the girls. And fun fact here for you, Caitlin, if you go to the Richmond Wikipedia page under famous people, you will see this man, Joe Sella, who is the current United States ambassador to the country of Fiji. But you didn't know that.
I did not. I feel like maybe we should go to him and get some tips of how we can make it on the Wikipedia page.
Yes. Following him were some more sponsors, American Energy and D&E Landscaping. They are followed by the Cousino High School Band, the Marching Patriots.
I love the energy they're bringing. I think they missed parade season too.
Yes. And how could you not be excited as a member of the band? You get to be out in all these different communities. You get to showcase your skills.
And we get that awesome school spirit that so many of our local high schools have.
Yes.
Here's a fun question for you, Preston. If
Sure.
you had been in marching band, what instrument do you think you would have gone for?
Well, it'd be one that I want to be able to play after school. Saxophone.
Saxophone.
I'd play the saxophone.
I like it. You could have started a jazz band afterwards.
Could have. Or like those rock and roll jazz guys.
Nice.
Just like add that little, you know. Next up, we've got the Giant Tootsie Roll, another crowd favorite, being pulled by the Knights of Columbus Council here in Richmond. Another group that gets out into the community, does a bunch of different activities and benefits a lot of different groups. So if you haven't checked out the Knights of Columbus and you're a man and you might be interested in doing it, please get into contact with one of them. They're a great, great organization. And they are followed by the members of the Richmond Sportsman's Club.
I believe this is Troop 84 that's passing by.
And them and the Boy Scouts of America.
Were you a Boy Scout?
Was not.
Didn't do it?
Was not. No. I had a lot of friends that were Boy Scouts though too.
So you kind of got a little bit of the experience just living vicariously through them.
And I know if the world closes down, those are the guys I'm going to call.
Those are the ones you're going to.
And you're seeing the Lil Squirt Fire Department truck going by, driven by Raymond Wall. And more of our parade sponsors, Tropical Smoothie Cafe and T's Roadhouse. T's actually had their tent set up on the baseball field across from the Good Old Days barn.
Oh, I might have to check that out after the parade then.
Yeah.
I think I had a chance to visit them this weekend yet.
And the Verlinde Insurance Agency. This next band coming down are the Orange and Black of the Armada Tigers. Now, where we're situated here next to Rick's shop, the drum lines perform in the kind of parking lot across the street. And while we were getting ready and doing sound check and stuff, Armada was going, and they sounded great, obviously. But we heard a little bit of a chant in their drum lines that said, I think it was "Beat the Blue Devils." So we'll have to see, because those two teams will face off this Friday in Armada.
I'm not going to lie, I love and miss a good rivalry game. Even though it's not in Richmond, I might have to make my way out to Dakota.
Oh yeah, that one's can't miss football. And now you're seeing the Pankowitz Cider Mill and Farm Market, 1939 John Deere Model A. It's being driven this year by Miranda Walsh of Marysville. I actually got a chance to talk to her grandfather today while we were getting ready. He's one of the managers at Ace Hardware in town. So he's like, oh, make sure you shout out my granddaughter. She's driving the Pankowitz tractor.
What a good grandpa. Always making sure the grandbabies are getting all the attention.
And you see Mr. Pankowitz there. They're going to be busy here starting pretty soon, actually. It's almost cider mill season.
I think, if you ask me, cider mill season is in full swing. Because you got to get your path figured out of where you're going to go. And this
True.
is always a stop.
It's like
every
the
year.
planning season.
Yes.
Yeah. See, fall kicks off for me when I can wear jeans consistently and wear a crew neck sweatshirt in the evenings. Otherwise, it's still too warm.
It's too much summer then for you.
And next up, we've got members of the Richmond Robotics team. You see their trailer coming down. And that was another part of the big bond renovation, was the Robotics got their own kind of big room to work in. Yep, there's a door that goes right out to the parking lot. So it's a program that's really, really growing at the school, and the kids are pretty fired up about it.
The robots that they will bring to the parade some years are so impressive.
Yeah.
And here I have trouble setting up my Google at home, and they're building robots in high school.
Yeah, we were trying to get my phone to work earlier.
Yeah,
we couldn't do
we're having
that.
issues with that.
And we've got members of the Masonic Lodge, number 187. I'm not sure. I don't think I want to say they didn't do their pancake breakfast this year.
They might not have. I think a lot of people were erring, one, on the side of caution, and two, everybody was so unsure of what we were going to be able to do.
A couple more sponsors coming your way with Active Tree Experts and Jacqueline Atkinson Real Estate. As we get one of my favorites, as the history teacher, is the Colonial Fife and Drum Corps. Again, we saw one earlier, but these guys are my favorites because I always pretend like I'm in the Patriot, fighting the British.
You can live out that childhood fantasy from the movie.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite movies growing up. Now you're seeing members of the Richmond Historical Society. Make sure you get, if you're around the fair or for any of their other events, you get a chance to go check out the antique schoolhouse, the log cabin they have over there. They do a bunch of different events around the festival and then other times during the fair as well.
And it ties in really well with a lot of the older antique tractors, snowmobiles that we have coming out, so it looks really great.
They kind of take over that whole corner of the fairgrounds.
All right, Preston, you can't tell me it's not fall. The Ghostbusters are here, and they're gearing up for all the spookiness that's coming.
Yes, 100%. We talk every year how I'm not a big scary movie guy thing, but I absolutely love Ghostbusters and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And they're covering our crowds now in foam, goo,
ghost protective spray.
Ghost?
If you ask me.
Please tell me it's not chopped up ghost.
I hope not. I feel like the Ghostbusters, no ghosts are harmed in the capture of that.
That's new though. They haven't done those before.
Yeah.
We see the classic Ghostbusters hearse car. More sponsors, Telto Contracting and the Simmons Insurance Agency. I feel like we could do a whole segment on Preston's walk to the fair. I tried to hitch a ride with one of the Shriners because they were going down the road the same time I was, but I don't think I would have fit on the mini bike.
You would have had to really hug on tight for that.
It would have looked like Dumb and Dumber with me like
just right on there.
You had extra gloves the whole time. Well, we see the Shriner Keystone Cops on their mini bikes and their wheelie car.
Oh, and cooling off the audience a little bit. It is a little humid, so they're just taking care of everybody. But I know we had briefly mentioned before everything that's going on with the good old days and the festival this year that we were able to go into full swing, but the amazing men and women behind the festival and the over 300 volunteers that come up actually did this in record time, about 3 months.
About 3 months.
Got everything put together, and you would never know. It's like they didn't miss a beat at all.
Yeah, we got, and we'll talk more about them later too. But we got a chance to talk with Miss Lori Ricks about it, and it's. I don't think people realize how amazing it is that we got this to where it is. But at the same time, it's what these people do. Like they're good at it.
Less from these amazing men and women.
We see the St. Peter's Lutheran Church boat going by. The salute to 9/11. And some more sponsors, Northern Air and MH Electrical Contractors. MHM, sorry, MHM.
That's why I should have called to help set up my Google.
Yes. And the other orange and black are the Elmont Raider Marching Band. They are under the direction of Mr. Adam Wetzel. really is about a perfect day for a parade today.
It really is.
A little cloudy, little breeze, not too hot.
I think that's the misconception with a lot of parades is everybody thinks you want a big sunny day.
Yeah.
But then unfortunately one side of your parade is always blinded.
Right. And next we've got members of the Gert Shoe Store. High quality shoes they sell there, and you see on the side of the truck all the great brands they've got. And it's kind of got that old school like shoe store feel.
Yeah. And you always feel really well taken care of when you go in there too. You always leave with the exact shoe you needed.
Yes. And coming down are the members of the Howell Veterinary Care Center. If you're looking for great care for your pets, make sure you check them out. They are over in that strip mall next to Family Farm and Home. That other little strip down 31.
And I'm sure if a lot of people were like me, I did get a quarantine puppy. So they have probably been extra busy with all the quarantine babies coming in.
We see the Rotary Club and the Bailey Dental Group. And we've got more members of the Shriners with the Zenobia Shrine Jeepsters. Trying to put me to sleep with this music.
I know, it's very calming.
After a long day being in the sun, walking down, doing all our sound checks and stuff. Man, it's just good to be back.
They might not be able to get rid of us. We're just going to stay here for the whole afternoon. We'll just commentate on everybody walking by.
We'll live broadcast just people watching. All right, now you're seeing members of the Art in Motion Dance Studio.
And how well are these trained dancers? They've got some of them on roller skates.
Yeah. As if dancing and marching in a parade wasn't difficult enough, let's throw some roller skates.
Let's put them on some roller skates.
And they're doing well.
Handle it.
We see some of the parents. And I looked quick and I was like, wait, the school already went by. But no, what you're seeing is First State Bank, and their lesson, savings is no joke.
I should probably take a class with them. I could probably save a little more.
I know. Like, oh yeah, we got all the... Great people down at First State Bank. If you haven't given them a talk to some of them about what they can do for you, make sure you get down there. And we got some more sponsors, Foster Blue Water Oil and Sunrise Convenience Stores. I know BP down here was busy today with all the members of the bands and all the parade watchers coming through. We've seen people with slushies constantly today, so.
One year we'll have to maybe pick one up for the broadcast.
Yes.
But then we'll probably have colored tongues, and I don't know if that would be the best.
I don't want to dye my teeth blue. And we see My Choice Energy and Blue Flame Propane.
Don't worry, if you were worried there had been too much of a lull with no music, being one of the largest musical parades that we have in the state, the Chippewa Valley Marching Band is here to help us out.
Mm-hmm. The Big Reds are a big band. We're going to let them take it away for a little bit here.
Yeah. I will always say when they have, when I drive up for this and I see all the bands and they take up a whole front yard of some of these houses where they're stationed.
Like you said, getting these bands, you just saw the Chippewa Valley band, a gigantic band, and there's multiple bands in this parade. Getting all those students organized, getting them here, getting them lined up, just another testament to the awesome volunteers we have here at the fair. As we see some of our sponsors, Jeremy's Automotive and Eric Groenveld Dentistry. And next are the Muslim Temple Lancers, another division of the Shriners, and their mini cars.
I don't know about you, but I forget how big they actually are as an organization.
Yes.
And all the things that they do for local communities.
We've seen, what, 4 different groups, Shriner groups come through already? 3 or 4?
If we're lucky, maybe we can get 5.
Looks like one of the cars broke down, too. They're towing it. Uh-oh.
They should have gone with Joe Ballard.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to give them a business card afterwards.
And next you're seeing members of the Schultz family McDonald's. I know they've been super busy. They just had a bunch of renovations there, too. It's beautiful on the inside.
I'm not going to lie, and I don't know if you're going to remember this. One of the original McDonald's, that the designs in Richmond, do you remember when they used to have horse saddles for the kids to sit on?
Yes, and they had the video games you could play, too.
Yes, I'm not going to lie. The new McDonald's is beautiful. The renovations are great. I want a petition to bring back the horse saddles, though.
I want to bring back, like, the play place. Like, when that went, like, I got choked up about it. But
they're just tearing down our childhood.
I know. But now you're seeing, members of Community of Christ and their Easter-themed flow. And they are followed by Pool Plumbing Solutions. And if you're looking for plumbing solutions, check these guys out. They're actually located here on Main Street, a couple doors down from Rick's shop.
Now I know you said you've been doing a lot of renovations on your house with everything, with the shutdown and all that. Did you have to call the plumbing service? Was it just a project that was too big for you?
Fortunately, I didn't have to do any plumbing yet. But
you're going to pick up a business card.
I may wander over for a business card. Because I think that's one of the things I can't do. We're seeing more sponsors with the Richmond Foot and Ankle Clinic and Golden Hawk Golf and Banquet Center.
Golfer, have you checked out Golden Hawk yet?
I golfed Golden Hawk twice this year. I picked it, actually, it was one of those things I picked up when everything shut down. You couldn't do anything but go golfing.
That's true. It's a good hobby to pick up.
Now, am I good at golf? Absolutely not.
Not yet is the key word.
Yeah. And our neighbors to the north with the Memphis High School Band, under direction of Mr. Joshua Esch. don't know.
I feel like that'll be our tradition for Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
You guys should name your yellow jacket and your tiger and your, well, I guess the raider probably doesn't need a name.
Right. Buzz. If I was going to name the Yellow Jacket mascot, I would name him Buzz.
I like it. Original.
One syllable, and it's sharp.
Quick and easy. And it'd be easy for the fans to shout.
Yes.
Does that mean the Armada Tigers would just steal from Foster Place and just call him Tony?
Tony.
Just Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
We'll write some letters afterwards and give them our ideas. It might have been a little bit of an off year for a lot of our festivals in Queens, but we are still lucky enough to have Miss Memphis, Anna, joining us, which looks like with one of her court members as well. It looks like we have Helena. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but it's a beautiful name, very unique.
And we got sponsors Rick's Shop and Printall. Speaking of new buildings again, if you haven't got a chance to check out the new Printall building, it's at Old City Hall on Main Street. I was in there 2 weeks ago. They got a huge facility now and can do a lot of cool stuff. No, that's not Captain Crunch. That is Captain Fishbones and his pirate crew of the Forgiven. I'm not Captain Crunch.
You know he must get asked more than he cares for that.
I would have said.
He needs to
I would have
say to
said
people.
Jack Sparrow. Captain Crunch has got a unique look.
That is true. And even though everybody loves Captain Crunch, I feel like you'd rather be compared to Jack Sparrow.
True. I don't know. Captain Crunch is pretty cool too.
Is that where we're maybe divided? You would prefer Captain Crunch.
Choose Captain Crunch.
I would prefer Jack Sparrow. I think just for myself.
And these are members of the Hells Are Home out of Riley, Michigan.
You know, all festival weekends, I see them riding around on this.
I mean, it's
going to different events, and I think it's great.
It's about all you need. It's a picnic table. You got your coolers underneath, and it drives where it needs to. He's got like a ship's wheel driving that too. And that red car there was James McGinty and his Plymouth GTX. That is a sharp looking car. I like that color.
I love seeing all the older cars around good old days too. Put them on my bucket list. One day.
And sponsors Dick Huvars and Jonathan Frank, the Frank Law Firm. In another one of those big bands, we've got the Dakota High School Marching Band. The Cougars out of Macomb County.
So now their mascot would be tricky to name.
I was just watching the cymbals players there. There's a little back and forth, little subtle movements in there.
Already too complicated.
I'm not musically inclined, and I'm not coordinated enough to do both at the same time. I mean, it's something these students work on all year round. And if you got a big band, you got to have a big trailer.
Yeah. One year I do want to see how they pack all the instruments so perfectly. I know they come in cases and they're not just throwing it in there, but I'm still curious.
And this next one's right up your alley again, Caitlin. We've got the Miss Bay Rama Fish Fly Festival. And sponsors Kate's Funeral Home and Bertassi Bulldozing. I know the bulldozing's been, Bertassi's have been out there all weekend getting the derby pit ready, getting different parts of the festival ready. Really is a week-long kind of
event to get it all
for
going.
them. And next are the Shia Alley Clowns Club. Happy clowns, not. Those are my kind of clowns.
I was going to say, these are the
Those
kind
are
of
my
clowns
kind of
that you're into. We don't want to do the scary clowns. I will have to warn you, I do think the scary clowns are coming later on.
I know,
I
didn't
but we're
look.
safe for now.
I didn't look hard enough to see if
I
scary
looked,
clowns.
and they're coming.
And we've got members of the St. Augustine Catholic School in their Lego-themed float. And we see Father Phil down there waving to the crowd. Our new pastor there at St. Well, newish. He was here as an associate, and then they moved him, and then he came back. So we're happy to have him. And Richmond Transport, followed by members of the Francis Banchek family and their antique Massey Harris tractors. These tractors have been out all festival long outside the, kind of by the park, by the skate park.
Yeah.
And the Manchek family tractors make up a good portion of that exhibit. A lot of red and yellow there.
I feel like these were the guys you needed to be driving by as you were walking, because you definitely could have fit on one of these. Great too that the Manchik family is so big.
Yeah, and we
that
see
it's almost driven by a family member. Every tractor basically has a family member.
And we see Pat Manchek there. We see Brian Davidson coming out, Jimmy Manchek behind him. It is a family affair. And all the grandkids out walking and passing out candy.
That's probably got to be an exciting year in the household when you're finally old enough to drive one of the tractors in the parade.
Yeah. I mean, then you get enough you got to start finding more tractors too.
That's true. They might get to the point where they're going to have to get a couple more antique tractors going for them.
Bunch of the lawnmowers, and there's Alexa Perry. Thumbs up to the camera. More members of the Perry and Manchek families.
You know, we maybe should have been a little louder as they were coming. I think this would have been the group that's trying to candy at us.
I know.
We'll plan out better next year of which floats we're really going to try and persuade.
And we see Francis Manchek there, pulling the hay wagon. Quite the exhibit of tractors, as we see the Thomas McGovern Attorney sponsorship banner. And again, we're announcing all of these banners and these sponsors, and they're the people that make this parade and this festival go. We talk about the volunteers, we talk about the police and the fire and the first responders, and those sponsors are huge for the fair too, because that's how they get the money to get these different, some of these groups cost money, the beer tent costs money to rent, and
get all the supplies.
And what a lot of people don't know too is the festival donates a lot of that money back to groups at the school. I know every year we make the state tournament for wrestling, we get a check from Good Old Days saying congratulations, buy the kids some lunches, and they appreciate that. So we see the Macomb Highlanders drum and pipe bands.
And we were talking about this beforehand. I feel like it's not a real parade if you don't have bagpipes going through.
There's two places you see bagpipes, parades and funerals. And I'm glad we're at the first one.
We're at the best one. And now we have a set in stone construction coming through. Another card you might want to get for the house.
Yes.
I won't lie, this is the card I might get for my home as well. Thinking about redoing a bathroom maybe, and these might be my guys.
And we see the AIS service truck driven by Nick Malott. It is AIS's 60th anniversary this year.
A lot of big anniversaries.
I know.
For a lot of members.
They all kind of lined up like that. And we see Ray Wiegand in his antique GMC. What would you call that, Caitlin? Like a station wagon?
I mean, this is the kind of station wagon I can get behind.
Yeah. And I know a big thing this year, they did the classic car cruise Thursday evening.
Yep.
And they've had the car show outside Benacy's all weekend. As we see the Pradco, Gallagher, and Solanic Dentistry and Growing Smiles banners. As we see the Port Huron Northern High School, the Marching Huskies. This is the Queen Band you were talking about.
Yes, I was driving through, and you can probably notice that some of their members are wearing a very iconic Freddie Mercury look, the white shirt, the jeans, and even a lot of them are dedicated enough they put on the mustache too.
Yeah.
And we've discussed this before in previous parades. I love a good theme, and good members really do it too.
Yes. Popular songs. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Killer Queen. Let's go. I kind of want to follow them and see what other songs they play now. That was good.
If we're lucky, maybe a couple of bands will stick around and do a little more music for us.
As we see members of the Cardinal Mooney Catholic high school football team. And I believe I saw some of the cheerleaders walking down too in the parade. Yep, there they are in the back.
And Cardinal Mooney is also where one of our core members of the 2019 Great Thompson.
Yes.
She is alumni of that. Now we're seeing members of the Richmond Community Theater. Their past performance was Clue. Yes.
I believe. You'll have to forgive me. I don't know what their next one's called.
You know, I think another group that, obviously with everything that happened, was just so excited to probably be able to get back on stage and be able to perform in front of a live audience again.
Yeah. So we see the Lisa's Market truck going by. One of my grandma's favorite places to stop when we were little, I know, going up M19 to Memphis, we'd always have to stop at Lisa's and get some produce. So we see Richmond Collision and Grace Performance. More sponsors of our grand parade. And you're hearing the sounds of the New Haven High School Marching Band. The Rockets.
To kind of go down the parade route a little bit. And do you see the amount of candy they have scored from our parade this year?
It's like everybody saved all their candy from last year.
They were just ready. They're like, we're just going to get rid of all of it.
As we see New Holland and Pyro Joe's sponsorship banners. And if you see all the way on the end there, the New Holland banner is being carried by our new high school football coach, Sean Misko. An alumni of Richmond coming back, and now he's the head guy of the football program.
I feel like that's a great trend that we have here too, is we always get these amazing alumni that want to come back.
I see what you did there.
And get the programs going again and create more state champions and just really build what they loved so much while they were here.
Exactly. Now you're seeing the circling motorcycles of the Muslim Shrine Motor Corps. So another Shriner group here, Caitlin.
So we hit 5. They knew it was our 5th anniversary, and they're like, we have to have 5 different displays.
These are full-size motorcycles too.
And moving just as easily as those tiny ones.
I know.
Performing for over 50 years, and one of the main things that they do is they actually help support over 22 hospitals across the United States to allow the children hospitals to, try and ease that burden that a lot of families are going through, and make that day a little brighter for them, which is an amazing cause that I think why so many people love them.
Yeah. And we're seeing some antique golf carts now. I saw these driving around town earlier. I go, the blue one here in the front, I was looking at it, I'm like, that's a golf cart? Like, it looks like a little car.
Everybody's getting fancy now that the mandate's in that you can drive them around. They're like, we gotta trick out our golf cart, so you can't just have the boring golf cart.
Yeah. As we see the Henry Ford Health System and Heinz Chiropractic sponsor banners. More of our younger football team members carrying those. And you're hearing the sounds of the Great Lakes Drum Corps.
This is an impressive drum display that they have. They have to help her out. They're like, she needs a car for herself. We can't make her carry all these drums.
No. Sticking with that patriotic theme with their music. And next up are members of the Can-Am BMX shop. This is a group I never heard of, this Can-Am BMX, until this weekend. I started seeing all of their stuff around. They're out in Good Olds, Michigan.
Just another group of young talent that we're impressed with because I could never.
And we see some of those, the kids on their bikes with their helmets. Even this little one down here in our pink bike.
I know.
Little pink bike, little pink helmet.
Well, you know what they say, you always got to start them young in whatever activity they want to get into.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are doing some hops here on their bikes. Oh, I think we had one go down.
We had a little crash, but that's okay. That's why you
wear
their
helmets
and your safety equipment.
And a big round of applause from our crowd down here. He's back up. He's on his bike. He's smiling.
It's like it never even happened.
Yep. Rub some dirt on it. Ooh, a little wheelie there. Should have built him a jump. I think Jason's got a 2x4 and some plywood and a cinder block.
I think we could find something. Showing off all their tricks, and I'm just impressed with myself that I can go one-handed.
Yeah.
Can't do the two-handed. I can go one-handed.
And we're seeing Jeremy Yake in his 1928 Ford model AA. Oh, nope, sorry, those look like those are still members of Can-Am. And one of the staples of the parade is Mr. Mark Ellis with his own version of the town clock, and he's always playing live piano music the whole time. His theme this year was the Sound of Silence. We got a chance to talk to Mark before the parade, and he'd like to, when he goes by, we'll see the back of his float. He's dedicating his float this year to Wayne Ritter. Wayne was a longtime member of the community. He ran the service station here at the marathon, and Wayne passed away this past year. And I know he's a guy that a lot of people in town will miss. Seemed like every time I drove by the service station, there were people hanging out.
Always busy. And I know we got a taste of some of them earlier, but we have some more antique tractors coming from the antique show that has been at Good Old Days all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
With all of the classic antique tractors, a lot of them seem to, have started out red, and then you move into a little bit more of the modern versions that are green. So would you think, are you a red or a green tractor kind of guy?
So we had a John Deere tractor at the house growing up, so I'm partial to the John Deere green.
Just brings back really nostalgic memories.
It does.
For you.
Yeah, of moving mulch all day, or rocks all day.
But at least you had the John Deere to make it easier.
True. Yeah. Oh, geez. Some antique Ford tractors. It really is. We'll start, especially around here, next month or so, we'll start seeing harvest time coming around, and we'll see more of the modern tractors out and about. And it's really amazing looking at those tractors now compared to what they had before, and how they were able to get all of that done with tractors like these. Hard-working people, that's for sure.
Not much has changed. Maybe a little better equipment.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, air conditioning, always helpful.
And we've got Rewalt Pesch Funeral Homes and Dr. Julie and Associates. Dentistry. And our neighbors down 32 Mile, the Romeo High School Marching Band.
What is really fun about having all of these local bands coming is the fact that a lot of us have festivals very close together too. So we share a lot in common.
Yeah. know, Peach Festival was last weekend.
Following the Romeo High School Marching Band is the Scarefest car, but it looks like they were able to keep all the ghouls and goblins, all the scary clowns contained this year.
It looks like, I don't want to speak too soon because I'm waiting to see like that clown come running through the crowd.
Running through.
Yeah,
but you gotta remember, all these scare parks, everything, all those creatures had a year to rest. So
yeah,
this year when you go out, they are going to be ready for you.
As we see Purified Water to Go of Richmond. I see Stephanie Porter over there and members of the Porter family. And their water guns. Because it's a water company. I get my water there too. I love it. It's good stuff. I go through about a 5-gallon jug a week.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's good for you because I definitely drink more water during my day. Too much coffee and caffeine. I could use a little more H2O.
Make a lot of Kool-Aid.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
It's not really
I'm
the
drinking
water,
more water,
it's the
but a
Kool-Aid.
ton of sugar. Oh, well. And this one's always one of my favorites. I think I say that about everything, but the Jeremy's Automotive truck. I don't even know if you could call that a monster truck. That's like if a monster truck had a monster truck.
Yeah.
That's what it would look like.
How do you think they actually get up there?
I was just thinking that. I'm like, you have to get in a monster truck to get into that.
They just have different baby level monster trucks that they use to get into the Big Daddy.
We see more of the Jeremy's Automotive team and Jeremy's Towing. As well as sponsors Supreme Electric Services and TM Smith Tool. And the Utica High School Marching Band. I think in terms of travel, I think you don't quote me on it, but I think Utica is the one that travels the furthest to get here.
Of the high school bands, I think you're right. I think they travel the farthest. But it looks like that extra travel time did not impact the energy levels they're bringing for us.
They are fired up. As we get a look at the Chieftain Marching Band trailer. And we talked about the school earlier and the football players carrying the banners, the state titles with the cheer and the softball teams. The band that went through was Robotics. We're seeing another one of the extracurricular activities at Richmond, the trap team. Really fast growing program at the school. And another one of those high quality, extremely competitive programs. They're always battling in the top of the state rankings. As we see Zach Sellers up there, he was one of the top 10 trap shooters in the nation.
Which is amazing considering that this is one of the newer
Yes.
extracurriculars that we have within Richmond Community Schools.
Yeah.
And they are already performing at that state level.
And I was fortunate enough to have Zach as a student, and he's just an awesome kid. When I heard he finished in the top 10, I was super excited. He's just an awesome kid. He also details cars and does really, really well, too.
An extra little plug for him, too,
Oh, yeah.
there.
If you need your car detail, call Zach. And I know the trap team's organizing a side-by-side fundraiser next summer. So get a bunch of people, get their side-by-sides together, raise a little money for the trap team, and have a good time in the process.
Maybe we should go in on one.
Maybe. And this next truck is the Backyard Living Company. They're pulling a couple of their pre-built sheds. I know they had a bunch of these out. They had some gazebos out, some play sets at the fairgrounds for people to look at.
Some of their playhouses that they have
Pretty
for children
elaborate.
are amazing.
Yeah.
I won't lie, the exterior maybe is a little well kept than my garden right now. I might have to go home and, get my stuff together.
Some of these sheds are about as big as my house. So what was our Shriner count at? Was it at 5?
We were at 5, so we're at 6.
Make it 6. We've got the tall Shriner float. I believe that's the Shriner Bear mascot, and then the giant baby. And it's crying.
Is it a giant baby or is it a giant clown?
No, that's a baby. It's got a bib.
It's got a bib.
How could you be crying, though? You're at the grand parade at the Richmond Good Old Days.
Well, that's why I thought maybe
Yeah.
the clown, because maybe the clown. Maybe he just didn't get a lot of candy thrown at him.
That's true. He's up in that trailer. He's not getting any candy. As we see the Hamlin Pub and Joe Ballard Towing sponsorship banners. And the Stevenson Titan Marching Band. Another one of those bands like Utica that traveled quite a ways to get here. And I know those rides on a bus are not comfortable sometimes.
But it's okay because they know they're going to get great fair food.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get the slushies from BP. And maybe if they have a little lag time, they can hop on a couple of carnival rides before they have to make their way back.
Speaking of carnival rides, one of the things that over the year break, and actually it's been a while since I've ridden carnival rides, but I was at the Armada Fair with a couple of my cousin Melissa's sons, and we went on a couple of rides, and I got off and I realized, I am not as young as I used to be.
They're not quite as fun as they were when you started.
No, it just gets going, your stomach starts dropping, and go, oh, this is not good. I get done, my back's all tight.
I know I saw when I was on the fair, I don't believe it's called Ring of Fire anymore, but the guy that does the big loop, which I used to love as a kid. The thought of getting on it now, I get a little nauseous, I won't lie.
Yeah. But it was, this weekend, the Midway was packed. It was nice. We're seeing the Youth for Christ float by Action Homesteaders. And they're members of the We Are One Community or Gateway Assembly. Looks like they got a couple things with it, or a couple pieces to this float.
And like so many of the floats that we have seen coming through, it looks like they are doing a dedication to the anniversary of 9/11 and all those individuals that we lost during that time.
As we see the big American flags and the big banner for 9/11.
So they are jamming out on this last float they got going.
They're trying to compete with the band in front of them.
Yeah, they're like, we can't be forgotten. We can't be on the back burner from the band. No way.
And you can see some of their float members passing out the candy are digging it too, dancing while they're making a day out of this. And next are the members of the Leap of Faith Dance Studio.
Now we had some of the Leap of Faith family members that volunteered for the dunk tank along with you this year, correct?
Yep. Yeah, actually, and I apologize, I don't remember her name, but she was one of the dance leaders. Was in the tank right before me.
I believe Miss Jenny, maybe.
Jenny, yes. And I remember she gets out, I go, the classic dunk tank question, how cold is it?
Yes.
Oh, it's not bad. Okay, good.
And of course, you're seeing on the float to our 2019 Miss Richmond, an alumni of the Leap of Faith Dance Studio, who now is also an instructor there and helping with the younger groups that we have.
It's a big group of dancers, too.
And my eyes might be deceiving me, but I think we have a couple little Miss Richmonds for our 2021 that are out there dancing too.
Oh. And that horn blast is brought to you by Christensen Farms. As we see members of the Christensen family in the truck and their side-by-sides. They're about to be real busy here pretty soon too. I know Parker, my brother Parker goes up there harvest time. He's gone pretty much all day getting everything taken care of.
See all the audience members making the motion that they want the horn to keep getting honked.
And we see more members of the Christensen family and kind of farm crew, I guess you'd call them.
These are the kind of tractors I want. I have no use for them, no space for them, but these are the ones I would want. My neighbors would hate me just parked in the driveway, this giant tractor.
Like this, if you got this combine and park that in your driveway. We'll start seeing quite a bit of those out soon.
It's a joke that a lot of my friends have when they come visit me in my hometown when we'll go out for lunch or anything. They say only in Caitlin's hometown will I annually get stopped by tractors and combines.
Yep.
And I go, that's how you know you made it.
Right. And again, the classic way we end the parade here with bunch of any of the volunteers that are able to, if they're not out directing traffic for the parade, but we really get to showcase these people in their orange shirts that are busy not only during the festival but all year round. And we mentioned, we talked to Lori Ricks earlier, who said they basically they had to wait until they got the all clear from the state
about 3 months ago before the festival would have taken place.
So they were able to put this festival together in essentially 3 months, and a lot of that has to do with these awesome volunteers, and it's just a handful of them. She said there's over 300 people that volunteer in some capacity, and that's how this works. Without all of those people, I mean, we wouldn't have a festival. So we're extremely thankful for what they do in putting on such a high quality. I think it's the best festival in the state, but I mean, I'm a little partial.
You might be a little biased, but I would agree with you. Definitely the best festival in the area.
So that brings us to the end of our parade.
Unfortunately.
It's always kind of a bittersweet feeling to get to the end of this parade. There's still some events that'll go on today, the rest of the day today for the festival, but it always feels like this ends the festival, and
it's really coming to a close, and we're going to
ends
have to wait
summer.
a whole another year.
I know. Hopefully just 1 year.
Only 1 year to do this again.
But for Richmond TV, I'm Preston Trend.
And I'm Caitlin Gordon.
And we're glad you joined us for the parade, and we'll see you guys next year. Have a great year.